In case you didn't notice, and chances are you didn't, Peacemaker finally wrapped up Season 2 last night. Well, the tweet here, obviously would have ended up getting sent out on Wednesday. But yes, Thursday evening, Peacemaker finally wrapped up. And honestly, I was looking for this tweet because I seen it earlier this week. Obviously, it would have been on Wednesday or something like that, Wednesday or Tuesday. I can't quite remember when I seen something like this, akin to this. And well, I kind of wanted to see the immediate reaction after the episode aired, because I'm not entirely sure. I finally figured it out that it was airing on a Thursday, but I still don't necessarily know what time it is. But yes, the immediate reaction in the aftermath, I mean, even the people that were watching this stuff have felt completely and totally, well, vacant. Okay? And I mean, these were the suck-offs that earlier in the season were saying, oh my god, James Gunn, oh, he understands the DCU better than anybody ever has. Oh my god, he is the savior we've been looking for. Snyder Bros BTFO'd. But now, I mean, outside of the requisite shills and the self-promotion on the part of James Gunn, but people not exactly that happy. Okay, James Gunn never direct again because that finale was ass. Me retweeting every tweet, dunking on Peacemaker Season 2 finale. Can't even spoil this finale because nothing's happening. I'm crying. We can continue to run down this stuff, but long story short, the 6 people that are watching it, because we got, oopsie daisy, new Nielsen ratings out there for the beginning of September, and as you can see right there, we can bring this up just a little bit, but Peacemaker, once again, nowhere to be seen at all whatsoever, even pulling in lower numbers than the paper, which has just been derided and grilled from pillar to post. Less than 342 million minutes watched, which means that Peacemaker on HBO is pulling in lower numbers than most of those shit Star Wars projects that have come out in recent years. That is not a good thing at all whatsoever. Public perception upon completion of the season has started to turn on Peacemaker, because there were some people that were out there that thought that this was like, cutting edge commentary on society at large, that it was a funny, refreshing take. You remember Rotten Tomatoes, oh my god, when it debuted, it was the best received DC project in live action literally ever. But now you got people pissed off who actually watched the shit, and apparently that's a very, very small portion of people. So yeah, like I've been talking about for a while, and many other people have as well. I don't want to take full credit for this stuff, but yes, pointing out that public perception of the DCU and of James Gunn, especially at the wrap up of Peacemaker, it's definitely going to start to shift quickly. And how long is it going to take? Because we've already heard some dissenting voices out there in regards to Superman. How long is it going to take? How long will it take before people start to realize that, actually, James, you might not end up being the right guy for the job? Well, according to Forbes, we got that date, okay, and that's October 6th, because the Hatchet Men are out in full force. James Gunn's Superman ends its theatrical run. How much did it make? Yes, because it's now officially out of the theaters. We knew after, 31 days, it went to paid video on demand, okay, because, we needed to get it out there as quickly as we can in order to set it up properly for Peacemaker Season 2. And then it ended up hitting HBO and having the best opening weekend since Barbie, which do we even have full numbers on that one? Did it get on any of the streaming charts? Long story short, no. But okay, for all the idiots in the back that were out there touting, my domestic box office. Alright, cool. Where are you now? Where are you now that we can officially run the numbers and make proper comparisons? Well, you probably already downvoted the video and moved on with your time in order to watch your copy of The Suicide Squad again for the 14th time this week. But Superman, starring David Cornsweet, Rachel Brosnahan, and Nicholas Hoult, has ended its domestic theatrical run after playing on big screens for 84 days. That's not great, okay? Actually, I think that's quite shit, because back in the time, oh god, it's been a long time since I've been to the theater, but when actual summer blockbusters would come out, prior to the ascent, that was when I was going to the theaters, prior to the ascent of Marvel, you would have movies debut in like May or June, and then they would end up coming out of theaters right before the holiday season in order to get the physical home media release in people's hands for Christmas. That used to be the way that things go. And you would get excited for that because a year later you would get it on syndication like like TBS or hell, HBO would pick it up and you would be able to watch it on paid TV. Maybe a little while later, you'd get some commercial breaks and some of the other reprints, especially if it was Disney, it would get put on ABC's Wide World of Disney. But times have changed with the ascension of streaming services and the constant need for content. Perhaps this is the truncated timeline that we're dealing with, but when you take a look at how well the movie was performing, you can kind of understand why theaters weren't exactly clawing at it, weren't trying to hold Superman back by his cape to keep him in theaters for that much longer. Directed by James Gunn. I didn't know that. Wow, that's the first person ever pointed out. Superman marks the first release of the DC Studios co-CEOs, yes, Gunn and Peter Safran's DC Universe. The film debuted in theaters on July 11th before it arrived on digital streaming on August 15th and HBO Max September 19th. The official summary for the superhero movie partially reads, "I don't care." But yes, rated PG-13, Superman officially ended its domestic theatrical run on October 2nd, when it earned $3,588 for 71 theaters, bringing the film's final North American box office tally to $354,184,465, combined with the film's international ticket sales of $261,100,000. Superman's worldwide box office gross ended at $615,784,465. Which, yeah, for those in the back, that is the lowest worldwide box office for a Superman film if adjusted for inflation. And yes, not adjusted for inflation, 2013's Man of Steel beat it by over $50 million. Superman had a production budget, at least what they'll cop to, of $225 million, plus a worldwide marketing budget of at least $125 million. Variety and the other shill access media reported, yes, after the film was released in theaters in July. Okay, so we have concrete numbers to work with. Okay, so what can we do with those? Given the films generally split their ticket sales 50-50 with theater owners, this means that Superman's theatrical net equates to nearly $308 million. The amount, of course, doesn't reflect any residuals that are being paid out or other miscellaneous expenses associated with the film. But what about the merch sales? It'll make it up in merch sales, guys. Even going with the $308 million before taking into other expenses, okay, Superman's net falls below the $350 million Warner Brothers spent on the production of the film and marketing. Oh no, what happened? Oh god, I just remembered. There was that one article that came out that was just really pointing how great of a year that Warner Brothers is doing. So great, in fact, that they could push off Mortal Kombat 2 to next year. A stupid fucking idea. God, I'm so pissed off by that. But yes, they were out there saying that Superman was going to net the studio something like $100 million. It's so fucking dumb, dude. Whether Superman, yes, will ultimately end up making or losing money, though, is yet to be determined, since Warner Brothers will earn money from premium video on demand, streaming video on demand, yes, and other revenue streams, including dollars earned from licensed merchandise, all of which we don't take into account with other films that are out there. But yes, that $42 million that this movie just lost doesn't really bode well for other entries coming into the DCU, because what's up next? Oh, Supergirl. You think a derivative version of Superman is going to perform better a year later? We just seen what the public perception was for Peacemaker Season 2. People are already turning on it. And now that we have tangible proof that Superman wasn't quite the box office hit that all of Gunn's gooners and all of his suck-offs were out there telling you time and time again it was, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm going to be shocked if Supergirl makes anything more than $400 million. I'm thinking probably somewhere squarely around the $350 million range. And given the fact that it has a similar budget, bro, the DCU is beyond cooked. Because, yeah, you take a look at the creatives behind this, and yeah, James Gunn, well, he's just, he's the creative lead for the DCU in general. So, yes, he doesn't have his hand in writing the script. He's not going to be the director on the project, but that's helmed up. It's being directed by Craig Gillespie, who's helmed films such as I, Tonya. Hear decent things about that. And, oh, the Cruella de Vil origin story. Oh, shit. But hey, it's going to have Jason Momoa as Lobo. Maybe you can try to bottle some of that unexplainable magic from the DC EU when he was making billions of dollars as Aquaman. Maybe that'll translate over and help out with Supergirl. Or maybe the $60 million, 60 or 80 million, I think it was $60 million budget for Clayface. Maybe that'll just be a Joker 2019-like success. It definitely won't end up being anything like a Joker 2 level miss because, well, the numbers just aren't there for that. But I don't know, man. James Gunn's next official kick of the can, well, it's going to be Man of Tomorrow, coming out July 27th, 2027. But if we're to move 2 years in time from now, from this very date, we're going to be pretty close. And I think it might actually be released by that time, 2 years from now. But Matt Reeves' Batman Part 2, I always kind of thought, especially with the announcement of Man of Tomorrow coming out in July 2027, the fate of the DCU is ultimately going to be decided then. But I think it's already been decided. And people, yeah, you kind of had an inkling early on that James Gunn wasn't going to be the right guy for the job. And this right here, well, it's just crystallized it. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.